And paddled down by Gunaratne for a single down to backward square leg. That's the end of Mohamed Amir. 2 for 53 from him, 232 for 8, 2 overs to go.
You just wonder with Amir whether or not, if he can get back to that form that he had when he first came into the side. He was getting the ball to move away before that long layoff.
He's just one of those bowlers, isn't he? When he gets himself on a roll,
Stuart Broad so regularly does, where he just gets those spells where everything's going right.
Should be his
he really
last
does seem
ball
to be the
now.
kind of bowler that has
Goes
that
and
type of
bowls
potential.
short,
But he's been fantastic today. 2 for 53 from his 10 overs, 2 vital wickets.
Leg. That's the end of Mohamed Amir.
Done a great
2
job
for 53 from him, 232 for 8, 2 overs to go.
You just wonder. So the score then, 232 for 8. It is going to be Hassan Ali to continue for his last over. He has 2 for 40 so far.
He's bowled beautifully. He has become the man for Pakistan. In he comes, Gunaratne on strike. Gunaratne heaves it over leg side, man underneath it, takes the catch. And Gunaratne tried to make something of that, but he suffered, perishes for the cause. And Gunaratne caught by Farkar Zaman out at deep square leg. He's gone for 27 from 44. And Hassan Ali picks up his 3rd wicket, and Sri Lanka 232 for 9.
I think 250 is a distant dream now, Alan. I don't see how they can get there with their numbers 10 and 11. And you would suspect if Hassan Ali is going to be trying to get the wicket of Nuwan Pradeep, it's going to be fast, it's going to be full, and it's going to be aimed at the stumps. As yet another 12th man wanders out onto the pitch for Sri Lanka. The 12th man's been on the pitch longer than some of their batsmen.
Good innings there, yeah, good innings that from Gunaratne, but he was clearly aware that there wasn't much left, and so he was trying to shield the tail, and it means that we've now got Nuwan Pradeep coming in at 11.
It's almost an impossible task for him, really, because he needs to hit out while at the same time being careful of whether or not he wants to be on strike, keeping the batsman away from strike. I think in the circumstances, bearing in mind that what went before, that was a pretty effective innings. It's very difficult to be racing along at a strike rate of 120 if there's wickets tumbling around all around you. And credit needs to be given to how well Pakistan have bowled.
So it's going to be Pradeep. He's on strike. In goes Hassan Ali, and my word, what's that? That's that's Malinga on strike. That was. Malinga clubs it away for 1 to extra cover. I think we might see a different Malinga now if he gets on strike, because Pradeep is on strike now. Just got to keep Hassan Ali out. Hassan Ali's bowled beautifully. 3 for 41. In he comes. Fast run up, bowls. And Nuwan Pradeep just tucks it away leg side for a single.
What's everyone talking about? That was a fantastic shot. Played like Jonathan Trott.
On a good day.
Well, we'll have to see whether or not your prediction that Malinga's going to go fully unorthodox now comes to light. We've got 9 balls to go.
I'm going to nominate this, that he's going to have an almighty heave and it flies off the outside edge over backward point.
Or gets caught by Shoaib Malik at 3rd man.
Now, I don't think it'll go that far. So let's have a look. Malinga on strike. In comes Ali, and he misses it. There's a great gap between ball and bat. No connection between the two.
You called the shot right. It's
it was the shot, wasn't it?
It was the right shot. It was going over the top of point if he'd connected.
In the Golden Ball Award for the most wickets in this ICC Champions Trophy, Josh Hazlewood has 9 wickets, Liam Plunkett of England 8, Hassan Ali now has 7, Adil Rashid of England has 6. Hassan Ali, in he comes again, chipped, very nicely chipped, and it landed where I suppose a silly mid-on might have been standing for 1. He's
Brilliant.
gone back to orthodox styles.
Brilliant placement. It's one of those shots that you need to play if you play on a council municipal ground where they've not cut the grass, because if you hit it along the ground it won't roll along.
Now he's got the strike for the last over if Nuwan Pradeep can keep this delivery out from Hassan Ali. It's been a good performance this by Pakistan. Remember, they won the toss, they put Sri Lanka into bat. Pradeep on strike, Ali in, and he stone walls him and says you can't get past that. The end of the 49th over, 2:35 for 9.
You would hope that from a Sri Lankan point of view, Lasith Malinga can perhaps get 10 runs here, but even 5 or 6 to get to 241 is more than you would have suspected when all those wickets were falling. They lost the 4th, 5th and 6th wickets, and the 7th actually, so within 6 runs of each other, so that's 4 wickets for 6 runs. So at that point, when it was 167 for 7, you seriously were worried that they weren't going to get to 200. But they've got past that, and they don't have a massive chance, but they've given themselves a chance at least.
So it's going to be the final over, and it's going to be bowled by Fahim Ashraf. He's bowled 6 overs, 1 for 36. We weren't going to take a chance. Imad Wasim's got 2 overs to go, but it's going to be Ashraf. In he goes. Bowls a full length. It's a full toss. They should be looking for 2. They're not going to get it because Shoaib Malik has run in at pace and fielded from long on.
There was 2 there though, wasn't there, Alan?
I wouldn't have thought so.
No?
No, I don't think Malinga could have got back. I heard Derek Pringle in the background shouting 2 because, as you know, he was a greyhound between the wickets himself.
I'm sure he would have run 2 today.
He would have turned that into a 3, Pring. So 5 balls to go. 2:36 for 9, Sri Lanka. Pradeep is on strike. Long off and a long on, a wait. Will it go down the ground? Away it goes. Oh, there it goes. Straight back to the bowler. It's a little child's dolly catch. And that's the end of Pradeep. Caught and bowled Fahim. And Pakistan bowl out Sri Lanka for 236. That's a great effort by Pakistan's bowlers, with Fahim finishing with 2 for 37 and Hassan Ali 3 for 43.
Absolutely, there was a real point there where Sri Lanka were hoping, when they were 162 for 3, that they would be able to go on and score 280, possibly even as high as 320. But when the quicks from Pakistan came back into the attack and 4 wickets fell for just 6 runs being added to the score, all of a sudden it looked like a seriously different game. We're in the situation now that whoever wins this is going to be back here in Cardiff to play against England. I think the run rate scenario is somewhere along the line of Sri Lanka would need to bowl out Pakistan for about 8 runs. So I don't think that's going to happen, Alan. I think we can just assume that the winner here is going to be back. But as things stand, halfway stage, anything can happen. But you're thinking Pakistan are cock a hoop and feel that they can get 237.
Well, they've done the job with the ball, and that's been exactly what Sarfraz Ahmed had in mind. He won the toss early this morning. He knew that the forecast would be good. I know that some people thought he might have batted first, get runs on the board, but this has been a super effort. 236 all out. 236 all out. And the big contribution there coming from Nurushan Dikwala with 73, 39 from Matthews, 27 from Gunaratne, Lakmal with 26. Pakistan's bowlers, 3 for 40 Junaid, 3 for 43 Hassan Ali, 2 for 37 Fahim, and Mohammad Amir 2 for 53. So that's it. 236 Sri Lanka have been bowled out for in 49.2 overs, and Pakistan will feel that they can get these runs to make a semi-final of the ICC Champions Trophy 2017.
The ICC Champions Trophy 2017.
Bowled it! 2 to win for England, and he goes again through mid-wicket, and that will be an absolute repeat prescription. 4 runs to see England home. Joe Root and Owen Morgan hug in the centre of the pitch. Job done for England on day 1 of the ICC Champions Trophy as the fireworks go off once again.
Isham does go on the pull. It's a top edge and he's got just about enough of it. It flies over the fielder at fine leg for a 6.
Get down too quickly when he's at full pace with his old knees of his. Oh, Hashim Amla down the wicket and hoiked it over deep mid-wicket for 6.
Shakib again bowls this time. That's an off stump, and Hales goes big down the ground. That's a 6 all the way. Goes beyond the dark sight screens and into the supporters.
As Guptill is squared up and the leading edge flies to backward points. That's wicket number 1. Guptill's got to go. and it's Hazelwood who strikes.
Driven by Chandimal out towards De Villiers, who misfields, and I think has produced a run out. Never ever run on a misfield, but especially not to A.B. De Villiers.
3 overs for 13 so far for Ball, who comes in, bowling to Sumya, waiting, and he comes forward, takes a stride, and goes for a 6, and it will go all the way for 6 runs. Sumya took a stride down the pitch, it was full of length, and he got right through the shot, beautifully hit for 6 runs.
So they've dropped the man back at deep square for Ronki for his pick-up shot, and he backs away, and he goes the absolute other way, and that is massive. It's over, almost over cover, but he hit that over wide mid-off for 6, backed away, and just slapped that off one of the fastest bowlers in world cricket.
Morris again, short pulled, oh that's gone a long way. That's a huge hit, wonderful strike. 6 over deep mid-wicket from Sivika Prasanna.
It could be another boundary here as he's running a bowl, and it's brilliantly saved by Bairstow, who's covered a lot of ground, thrown himself headlong, got a left arm to the ball, stopped it going over the boundary.
Pradeep once again, this time high in the air. Will it be a catch? Will it sail across the boundary? It is, in fact, dropped by Lasat Malinga at fine leg. It was a bounce, a short delivery. The player just took it on high in the air, just danced around in the air, and Malinga finally not able to get to it.
Again, it's a better length, but he's picked it up on the half volley. Is he going to be out? Yes, he is. Caught on the boundary. Nice take by Ben Stokes, who had to shuffle 5 or 6 yards to his left-hand side and takes a very comfortable catch in the end.
Deep forward square, and a third man, and Horner comes down the wicket on the edge, he's out. He charged down the wicket, he tried to carve that away, thin edge, through to Luke Ronke, and he is gone. So just as it looked like he was about to start attacking, Warner is out, and that is a massive wicket for New Zealand, and they are celebrating exactly like that.
Here's Nuwan Pradeep again. Bowls too many hits the last ball of the innings for 6. It means Sri Lanka will need around 300, not around, an exact 300 to win the game. Finally, Duminy gets one in the middle.
Bowls on his legs and he clips it round the corner. He'll get one here, certainly. He wants the second. He will get the second. Joe Root has got 100 for his country. His 10th ODI century.
It's he who faces Hastings as he comes in again down the leg side, and this time Williamson's gone. There is a man in the deep, but it's gone for 6. Down the leg side, he just picked that up and just almost carried it himself all the way out beyond the boundary.
And he goes swinging hard, and he's gone straight up to the man and taken at long on. Pradeep goes 4 for Imran Tahir. Another defining contribution by the champion leggy, and there you have it.
The ICC Champions Trophy 2017.
Four wickets for just 6 runs. Sri Lanka dragging their way up to 236 all-outs in the 49th over. Pakistan will need 237 to win to book their place in the ICC Champions Trophy semi-finals. Dick Warner top scoring 73 off 86 balls, 4 boundaries. Andrew Matthews 39 before he was bowled by Mohammad Amir. Little support from elsewhere though. The Pakistan pace attack, excellent fingers. Junaid Khan 3 for 40, Hassan Ali 3 for 43, Mohammad Amir also 2 for 53. Let's get back to the ground, talk to one of our summarisers this afternoon on TalkSport 2 and Channel 2 Cricket Radio, Derek Pringle. Derek, talk about getting your end up, little bit of momentum with the Pakistan pace attack in the middle part of that innings, and they were just rampant at times.
They were, and it's complete justification. A lot of people were questioning the fact that the captain dropped the leg spinner here for this game, and added the extra seamer, but completely justified because the seamers did the damage, and in particular the 2 left-armers, Mohammad Amir and Junaid Khan, as you say, in the middle overs. Sri Lanka were really well placed. 161 for 3 in the 32nd over, and then a bit like South Africa yesterday at the Oval, who were similarly well placed, it all suddenly went pear-shaped.
You can look at it, I guess, in two ways: the good control and aggression of the Pakistan pace attack, but also the shot choice from the Sri Lankan, a special middle order. Dick Waller, not a lot of support elsewhere. What would you put the reason down to? It's going to be a real uphill climb now for Sri Lanka.
Well, you know, in one-day cricket, in white ball cricket, you're going to get the odd risky shot selection. Well, not so much that. People do play the big shots, and there's a risk in that. Obviously, they can't keep playing with a straight bat. But I just think Sarfraz Ahmed, he swapped his left arm as they bowled from different ends to the ones in which they took the new ball. And for some reason, Junaid Khan, Mohammad Amir, they just started to get a little bit of purchase out of the pitch. Just a little hint of movement, not a lot, but enough to really, make big shots turn into errors.
Is it a pitch, though, Derek, that keeps this game alive? Yes, it's going to be an incredibly difficult task to defend 236, a place in the semi-finals of the Champions Trophy at stake. But did you just see enough at times from that Pakistan pace set to make you think that Sri Lanka could do the same and make it difficult?
Listen, I think what is more important is it's Pakistan, and anything is possible with them. That's the trouble. They are brilliance and calamity in equal measure, so they can easily collapse just as Sri Lanka did. There's a little bit in the pitch, not very much. I mean, if they play sensibly, and those two words don't often go together, Pakistan and playing sensibly, they should win this comfortably.
I'm always interested to ask, Derek, you see a lot of subcontinent and batsmen from Asia coming and playing in English conditions, and at times it is difficult. It didn't look too difficult as the clouds burnt off in Cardiff, but is there a way that, preparations, you just wonder, and is there a way you can see more subcontinent batsmen kind of preparing better for these kind of tournaments in England? It doesn't look against that white ball when it can just do a little bit. There seems to be a lot of struggling going on.
Well, I don't think they're the only ones. I mean, if the ball moves, I've always advocated, if you can get the ball to move a little bit, no matter who the batsman is, if they're playing a big shot at it, that becomes extra risky. If the ball does nothing, then they usually hit it in the middle of the bat and it disappears over the boundary. But they were well placed. That's what you've got to remember. They cope with whatever movement was around first thing. And there's not been much. This is no minefield, believe me. I mean, it's just gripped a little bit on occasion, and it's been enough to... this is a sudden death game, and it hit South Africa yesterday. Panic station seems to set in when you lose key players. Instead of them rallying around and maybe just thinking, OK, we'll refine our total down. We were looking like 280 plus, but we'll now have to think about 260. But instead, they panicked a bit, and now they've only got 236, and they didn't use up their overs.
Lasse Malinga, still one of the special talents in short-form cricket, in world cricket. They're going to be depending, aren't they? Angelo Matthews is going to be looking for a burst from him at the top, and somewhere in the middle of the Pakistanis, really, to try and turn this game around for them.
Listen, you can never write off someone like Lasse Malinga, but I think this pitch, it sort of rewards the bowlers who hit it with a slightly steeper trajectory, because it just sits in the surface a little bit. That's where the movement has come from today. And Lasse Malinga with his low arms a bit skiddy, so I don't know. I don't think he's going to be the man, but as I say, you never write someone like him off, because he's got a great record.
And with what's on the line, you just wonder if it's a progressive start from Sri Lanka. If they start well, maybe get one or two early wickets, then, as we've already said, Derek, pressure can have a huge factor to play with, as we've already said, the semi-finals at stake.
Well, absolutely, and as it's Pakistan, they are as prone to panic as anybody, but they are, a team that sort of blows hot and cold. So at the moment, with the ball, they've been hot, and, they'll be feeling confident.
Thanks, Derek. The views of Derek Pringle as part of our commentary team. In Cardiff for this, effectively a quarter-final match with a semi-final berth in the ICC Champions Trophy at stake. Pakistan needed to chase 237 down to win. Our build-up to the chase of Pakistan, it continues next. TalkSport 2 and Channel 2 Cricket Radio.
The ICC Champions Trophy 2017.
Bowled him! In comes Moeen Ali again. He pokes it out. He wants the single this time, and he'll get it. Tamim Iqbal raises his bat, takes off the helmet, and the Bangladeshi supporters away to our left and to our right. They're all round the stadium here at the Oval.
Cummins runs in and bowls. He backs away, does Ronke, and he goes for a massive shot that's gone over the head of third man into the crowd for 6 runs.
There's Rabada. Again, round the wicket. Oh, beautifully played. Get your arms up, got a goal.
Question for Bangladesh, where the wicket's coming from. Hale's taking the aerial route all the way to the fence this time. 6 runs. Second six for Hales. He's moved into 95.
And it's certainly working right at the moment. And this is full outside off down a back foot cover drive from Steve Smith. There's no point chasing that if you're the fielder. Give up. The minute it went anywhere near that zone, he's going to punch that for 4.
Goes up in the air, clears the fielder at mid-on. In fact, clears the boundary itself. It's 6 from David Miller. He's starting to tee off. First 6 for him. He's moved on to 12. The score is 211 for 3.
Here's Milne again. Fuller one this time. Hit back to the bowler, stick inside edge onto the pad, just bobbed right up to the bowler, and he's grabbed hold of that one. And 53 for 3 now, Australia.
Takes the aerial route, Shaulov catch it, and he's taken in the deep. Fuller delivery on the off stump. Took the aerial route. The fielder at deep point had some work to do, made up ground quickly, and took a catch.
He's edged it high up in the air. Josh Butler's after it, and he's caught him. And that brings to an end a terrific innings from Tammy McFall. Caught by Butler off the bowling of Plunkett, trying to hook it over the top.
Full again by Stark, and again driven down the ground by Guptill. All the way for another beautiful straight four.
This time in the air, but past the fielder at backward point. Got the elevation there and smashed it away. Bit of width and just smashed it away for a boundary. That's a 6th boundary for du Plessis.
And Moeen Ali is going to bowl again from the Vauxhall end. He's bowled 7 for 32 so far. Here he comes to bowl to Tamim, who goes big and long, over long on, and 6 runs to Tamim. Easy as you like.
Yeah, last ball of the over, Cummins, and this time Ronke has gone straight down the ground, over the bowler's head, and into the stand at the pavilion end, and that was a beautiful lofted straight drive.
Tahir in once again. Big appeal for leg before wicket. Up goes the finger. Imran Tahir's off. He's gone. He's heading towards the pavilion. The punch of the air in celebration. There might still be a review.
Just Mustafizo comes into bowl to Owen Morgan. And he's picked that up beautifully. It might be caught on the boundary. No, it's over the top of the fielder. It's 6 runs. Over pitched a little. And Morgan picked it up and strokes it with minimum of effort.
They need 200 altogether, and this is it. Short mid wicket. He's chipped it up, and he was never happy, Aaron Finch, out there. He could never find his time. He's kicking the dirt now. He's looking at his bat. That was just maybe back of a leg ball. He tried to turn it on the leg side for 1. Instead, it got a little bit high on his bat.
Short delivery. He's found the gap, pulled it in front of the fielder at mid-on. It races away to the boundary as the fielder will not be able to cut it off. First boundary for Mendes. He's off the mark. It's 73 for 1.
Ashrafe bowls and a ramp shot round the corner. Caught brilliantly. A leg slip. What a catch to take the wicket of Jason Roy, whose poor form in ODI cricket continues.
Southey comes in again. He's short to Warner, and Warner has tennis ball smashed this 25 rows back over deep backward point. He was off on his toes, slapped that, and that has gone flying for 6.
The ICC Champions Trophy 2017.
That's on TalkSport 2 and Channel 2 Cricket Radio. And after 12 days of enthralling cricket, the ICC Champions Trophy group stage will be over, but on Wednesday and Thursday across TalkSport, TalkSport 2 and Cricket Radio, we'll continue to bring you coverage of the tournament. We're into the semi-final stage Wednesday. Of course, we look forward to bringing you England and the winner of this semi-final between Pakistan and Sri Lanka. And Thursday on TalkSport 2 and Cricket Radio, it's Bangladesh taking on India. India through to the semi-finals after Indian batsman Shikhar Dhawan scored a classy 78 during a dominant performance against South Africa yesterday at the Oval. It was a victory that put India into the semi-finals of the competition, as we've already said. And they remain one of the main challengers to England. Dhawan joined TalkSport's Neil Manthorpe after yesterday's match and spoke highly of his teammates in the first innings. innings.
So a fantastic innings again from you. Wonderful tournament, but of course it was the bowlers that set up victory.
Yep, absolutely, and glad that we got that big team out on that low-scoring chase, and hats off to bowlers the way they have come back in this game and showed their character.
Great bowling in the first power play, 35 for none in the first 10 overs. Do you think South Africa, were you surprised at how little they tried to take the initiative?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised because of course, the Caucus is quite aggressive player, even Hashim Amla to the world-class player, and I was a bit surprised, and I felt that the way we fielded today and got those run-outs, that whole thing changed the game for us.
Surprised to leave out Umesh today, was it for you? It played two spinners?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised because he had been bowling consistently well for us, but it's a tournament where there's very less margin, and it was sad, but that's how it is sometimes.
And a look ahead to the semi-finals. Have you got it sorted, who you're playing in the venue?
Well, that's captain's and coach job, not mine, and very much looking forward for semi-finals. It's going to be a good game against Bangladesh. Bangladesh playing good cricket, so now they're a good side. It's not like years back, and we respect that, and going to come hard on the semi-finals. Yeah.
Keep up the good form. It's been a pleasure to watch you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Here and there from Shikhar Dhawan, and also confirmed after yesterday's match, AB de Villiers intends to stay on as South Africa's one-day cricket captain and believes they can win the World Cup in 2019. They're out of the Champions Trophy after losing to India yesterday. They've just a single victory in a tournament knockout match since 2000. What an incredible record. But despite their record, de Villiers believes he's the right man to skipper the side.
Of course, I'm a good captain, and I can take this team forward. I can take us to win a World Cup, I believe. And I believe the same thing over here in this tournament and the last one. But that's what I believe. I love doing it.
On Wednesday, TalkSport and Cricket Radio, England will take on the victors of this semi-final, this quarter-final, in fact, between, of course, Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Pakistan chasing 237 to win against Sri Lanka. But, of course, following England's victory over rivals Australia on Saturday, England in a confident mood. And Adil Rashid spoke to the media after and says England are going to the semi-finals with real confidence.
That's our mindset, that's our game plan, is to be undefeated, every game we play. Every game we play, look to win. But going into the semis now, we obviously will be confident knowing we played 3 games, won 3. The ballers, as a group, we're bowling well, and the batters, they're coming into good form. So hopefully now, come semi-finals, we stick to our basics and have a positive mindset. We can, hopefully get to the final.
The England captain Owen Morgan's also been sharing his thoughts on England's campaign thus far as they head into the semi-finals of the ICC Champions Trophy.
I certainly think game on game we've grown in confidence. Certainly with our bowling unit is looking on form. The last 2 games we've proved that we can peg sides back regardless, where they're at going into the last 15 overs of the game, which are normally probably 2 years ago a bit of a car crash for us. So that's a huge improvement, and our batting just seems to strive. Beating a side like Australia in a game where we've nothing to gain is a big step forward for us, because we beat one of the better sides around the world, and if we're being serious about competing in future tournaments, we need to win games of cricket like this.
So as has been confirmed in the last few hours, England have called up 5 uncapped cricketers for their 3-match 2020 series with South Africa, with Joe Root and Ben Stokes being rested. Lancashire's Liam Livingstone and David Malan are the new batsmen in the 16-man group. They're joined by all-rounders Tom Curran, Craig Overton of Surrey and Somerset respectively, as well as the Hampshire spinner Mason Crane. The first game is at Crane's home ground of Southampton next week. So the chase of Pakistan 237 to win against Sri Lanka in what is effectively a quarter-final at Cardiff. Their chase, it begins next. TalkSport 2 and Cricket Radio.
Listen. The ICC Champions Trophy 2017.
Down the track, up in the air, will clear the boundary, easily deposited in the side screens. That's a 6 for Shoaib Malik.
Little Dilshan scoop, which Joe Root will scamper after down towards the boundary. There are 2 chasing it, and Root has brilliantly stopped it going over the boundary for 4. A magnificent piece of fielding. He's thrown himself at it headlong.
3 boundaries in his state. He's 16. Guptill, beautiful shot through the covers for 4. He leant into that one.
Gunaratne comes into goal to Amla, who goes aerial this time, and that'll be 6.
Early on strike, short, pulled down towards long on, going all the way. Poor delivery, Virat Kohli has got maybe the answers to his slow scoring rate.
Hales, he waits, he comes down the wicket, and this time he's got to his 50 with a pull shot over mid-wicket. One bounce for 4.
Hazel full again, and Neesham has just picked out the fielder at long on. David Warner turns to the crowd and tells them to keep quiet.
Here's Sarangalakma bowls. Amla back and across, nudges it through square leg for 100, number 25. Little bit nervous in the last couple of deliveries, but he holds the bat in the middle of the blade, removes the helmet, acknowledges the applause from a packed Kia oval, and it's going to be bowled by the left-arm spinner Imad, and that's smashed over long off for 6 by Hardik Pandya. He is a good, clean striker of the play, and he gets going straight away.
Two Kayos of bowls, and this time he just sweeps. I mean, it's a chance of a catch here. It's a brilliant catch as well. That is the second wicket. That was absolutely vital for England. He mistimed it. He went for the big shot, the big hoik. He didn't really get anywhere near it, and Bangladesh are 95 for 2.
Hastings comes wide of the wicket, very wide of the wicket, and Taylor tries to smash it. He's got a top edge, it's up in the air, and he's caught by mid-off as mid-off comes around.
Williamson on 99 as Hastings comes in and bowls, and Williamson has just punched it into the covers for a single. And doesn't that say it all? Williamson has made so many of his runs through singles, so why not bring up your 100 with another?
Here's Malinga, last ball of the over. Dumini laps it over third man for 4. It takes some courage and confidence that your protective equipment is the absolute best to do that.
Just try and get an extra 20-30 runs here. Once more it's played in. It's a straight shot, but it's high up in the air. It should be easily taken, and he's dropped it. That's an extraordinary drop. It's an absolute dolly.
So Root has to struggle on with the ankle that he turned in a pull shot earlier, and Shakib goes into Bolter Morgan, who clubs it for 6 over mid-wicket. Goes 10-20 rows back into the crowd just to our left. The flamethrowers go off on the top of the pavilion stand.
It looked like he was trying to play cricket on an elevator, and he's been again edged, and that is the end of the New Zealand innings. No hat-trick for Hazelwood, but he picks up 6, 3 in the over. And New Zealand have been bowled out.
Short delivery this time, straight to the fielder at short mid-wicket. That's a welcome wicket for Sri Lanka. Du Plessis, 75 he was on. Short of length delivery from Nuwan Pradeep, 82 miles per hour. A welcome wicket for Sri Lanka. It's 189 for 2.
He goes for another one, Pandya. This one is again going even further, this time leg side. Deep mid-wicket, 3 sixes in a row.
I'll tell you what, he has hit that well into the crowd.
The ICC Champions Trophy 2017. When you need us. The ICC Champions Trophy 2017.
That is huge.
On TalkSport 2.
Wonderful.
Welcome to the Cardiff Wales Stadium, and it's pretty much inevitable that whichever of these two sides comes out on top today will be back here in 48 hours time to face England in the first semi-final. Junaid Khan coming in to start the 6th over. It's tossed up and out to Shoaib Malik at mid-on, and Gunatilaka goes for 13.
Went for a drive on the up, just caught it high on the bat, and with no power, easy catch for Shoaib Malik.
Slipping now, he's bowled him straight through him. Length ball, skidded a little bit. We said before he's a little bit skiddy, and that has just gone straight through. The zing bails have gone flying.
To me, it's just very good bowling, and Mendes is trying to manipulate the field. It's a good field placement and great bowling. He comes
in, he bowled him! It was wide, it was full, he tried to ease it through the covers, and instead he's eased that back onto his stuff, and Chandimal is gone for naught from 2 balls.
Round the wicket to Dickwella. Bosley just clips it off his heels, and that will be the half century. 50 to Nilashan Dickwella. He's key to this innings now for Sri Lanka.
Hafiz now just launched by Matthews. That's heading our way straight into the commentary box over long on. That's 6 from Matthews. Now wearing 5 is Mohammad Amir. Away he goes. Shortish, and he's bowled him. Angelo Matthews is gone. All those zinger bails are lit and illuminated. and so too the eyes of Mohamed Amir.
Junaid Khan comes in again, and it's been, he's on the edge, he's taken it, and he earned that, Junaid Khan. He punches with glee as De Silva has faced 6 balls. He's got an edge through to Sarfaraz, and he is out. Oh, and Dick Waller, has he got an edge? In fact, they're going out. Pakistan have an appeal for this. But it's certainly an edge. It was a great catch by Sarfaraz, and they're just not 100% sure. Moraes is just waiting to see if that has carried.
He's walking. Dick Waller's walking.
And it's a great catch by Sarfaraz. There's no point sticking around for that one. Pereira is back on strike. And he's on the edge, and he's out yet again. It's just disappointing.
Ordinary cricket shot. I mean, the front leg has gone towards mid-wicket, and then he's flailed at one outside off. So, ordinary shot from a batsman who needed to just bat some time, as we just spoke about. Pereira gone for 1 off 5.
Hassan Ali comes in, and it's hit the top of the off stump, and Lakmal can only just stare and play the shot again. That was not his best shot.
He thought, I didn't nick that, and he stood his ground until the bowler came up. Hassan Ali said, look mate, your bail's off. Your bail's gone and you've got to go.
Gunaratne heaves it over leg side, man underneath it, takes the catch.
I think 250 is a distant dream now, Alan. I don't see how they can get there with their numbers 10 and 11.
There goes, straight back to the bowler. It's a little child's dolly catch. And that's the end of Pradeep. Caught and bowled Fahim, and Pakistan bowl out Sri Lanka for 236.
So here on TalkSport 2 and Channel 2 Cricket Radio, Pakistani 237 at a run rate of just 4.7 per over to win and to advance to the ICC Champions Trophy semi-finals. And surely Sri Lanka needs something magnificent from Malinga. Let's get back to Cardiff with our commentary team. First up, Ian O'Brien, but first, Jared Kimber.
Thank you, Dan. It's beautiful here at Cardiff at the moment. A little bit of white stripes going out. We've got Sri Lanka coming out to bat. To bowl. They're going to have to bowl very, very well. The crowd is out eating their food a little bit. IOB, what's your feeling? Will Pakistan muck this up?
Yeah, I've got 2 words written on my piece of paper here. 2 words: twists, turns. Because I'm not expecting
very
birds.
Similar words.
I'm not expecting any birds. But I could have stayed with the one I had, the thesaurus out. I was just trying to increase my lexicon. It's a word I added to my lexicon.
Yeah,
lexicon.
I like it. Double lexicon.
Look, I don't know. And I said it at the start of the game. I don't know what's going to happen. You'd think they would chase this down. You'd think they would chase this down with ease. But this is Pakistan.
And they did not chase with ease against South Africa. The rain came in. A couple of times they got completely stuck. They score very slow run rate in general. And that just seems to put more pressure on them in these sorts of chases. But they are generally fairly good with games between the scores of 200 and 300. Statistically speaking.
I can't wait for the cricket to start, because I'm struggling to encapsulate how Pakistan can lose this or win this, and how Sri Lanka, because we talk about Pakistan because they're the ones that are so up and down. Sri Lanka haven't had a great tournament either.
Well, Lasith Malinga he's got the new ball in his hand. He wants 4 wickets in 4 balls. That would be a start, wouldn't it? Let's aim for that. Lasith Malinga, at one stage one of the fastest bowlers on earth, and no longer one of the fastest bowlers on earth, but still certainly one of the best limited overs bowlers around. In slightly finer fettle than he's been in a couple of years.
He has lost a couple. Yards and inches, but he's still superb.
2 slips as he comes in. Lasith Malinga jogging up to the wicket for this first ball, and it's outside off stump. Didn't look like it moved particularly towards the bat or away from the bat, but it was left alone. So Azhar Ali is facing, and at the other end is Fakar.
I can't see this being a 2-down run chase. I can't see this Pakistan just like what Sri Lanka did to India. I can't see this being any sort of a calm and easier, steady 2-down knock-em-off run chase. Even a 3-down, 4-down. I can see this being like a 7, 8, 9-down run chase with switchbacks. Like a twister turn and a switchback.
I'm with you. Yeah. Usually 8 down is where Pakistan go when they're being comfortable. But Malinga's in again, and this is outside off stump. And this time, Azhar Ali does exactly the same as he did on the first ball. Just shoulders, arms, lets the ball go through there. No one's in any massive hurry here. And Pakistan won't be in a hurry. They are an incredibly slow starting team in the first 10 overs in general.
Incredibly slow in the field as well.
They're incredibly slow.
Is that where you were going?
I wasn't, but okay. I can see where you're going there. Yep. They're incredibly slow when they run between wickets also. Very fast though. If you're in Nando's and they suddenly see there's a queue option. Seen a couple of them hustle in Nando's before. always lose my spot to Pakistani cricketers during Champions Trophies generally as well. This ball's a length ball, and Azhar Ali leans on this, times it okay out into the covers, but there's a ring field, and there is no run. Beautiful day at Sapphire Gardens at the moment. Is that not what that?
I'm not sure what it's called anymore.
Well, the grounds.
Cardiff Stadium. Cardiff Wales Stadium.
Cardiff Wales.
There it is.
We're in Wales. Cardiff Wales Stadium. Yeah. Okay.
But
what happened to Sapphire? Did she go?
Genuinely gorgeous.
Sapphire.
She's out the back. The other garden's out the back now.
Oh, okay. See, in Australia, when we have gardens out the back, we use them as car parks for our grounds. Malinga, and again, it's short and wide, and he tries to cut this away, does Azhar Ali. Just sort of hits the bottom of his bat, dribbles out 2 point. There is no run.
But no, beautiful. This is probably actually, of all the time I have spent in Cardiff, this is probably the nicest day I've seen here.
I thought you were going to say, this has been the nicest 20 minutes. We were out under the scoreboard, watching some of the fans.
In front of the indoor school. It was
just behind the Cricketeers we were.
Yeah, one that wasn't helping me so much was standing right in my way.
He was a little bit in your way. I found that humorous.
Thanks for volunteering to stand in my way.
Malinga, in again. Short, now trying to stop, and it's dropped! Oh, Pakistan have got away with one there. Azhar Ali has timed the ball, didn't move his feet, flashed at the ball, straight to backward point. It's gone to Gunathalaka. It went quick, but straight to him. It was in, and it was in, and it was in, and then it was out.
Hello, cricket. Hello, cricket. Short, wide, cut, bang, dropped. Oh, gosh.
Oh, he clutched at that. He was trying to. In the end, he was trying to almost hold it to his throat.
Cuddle it. Trying to cuddle it. Cuddle it after you just dropped it. It was, as point catchers go, that's your baby.
It came to you, didn't it?
As point catchers go, that is your bread and butter.
Although if that was Pakistan, it would have gone through him for 4. So in some ways, he saved the boundary.
Saved 4.
Always look for the positives. 2 slips in for Malinga. He's in at the crease again. This time Azhar Ali leaving the ball. And that's a maiden. And it's a maiden largely. It should have been a wicket maiden, but it's a maiden largely because Azhar Ali didn't play many shots. They need 237 from their remaining 49 overs. Fakhar Zaman is yet to face a ball, so he'll be facing up, I'm assuming, Lakmal. Looks like it is Lakmal who's going to come in, who batted quite well. And that was Malinga starting with a maiden. He's not quite the one-day force he used to be, Malinga, but he's still not the easy. If you don't face him a lot, it's very hard to pick up early on.
And I think they'll do that. They'll use him in those sorts of spells as well to pick up on that. They won't let batsmen see him for 3, 4, 5 overs. They won't give him an extended, unless obviously he's taking wickets. And I think they use him more so in that little sort of 3 and 4 over burst, no more than that. Because do you
ever face him? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think I would remember those. Thankfully, no.
I've got, when he bowls next over, I might come up with the story about Aaron Finch facing once. But it's Surenga Lakmal, who starts with batted so well, comes in, the big man, and unfortunately puts that one down the leg side, and Murray Erasmus has given that. So they're off the mark, Pakistan, in the kind of confident way that you want to chase, with a drop catch and then a wide. I feel confident watching them. There was they did an interview with a Sri Lankan fan at the break there, and they asked him if he thought he had enough, and he went, "Of course." It's not great when that's what people think, but Pakistan do have some decent batsmen in this side, and Fakhar Zaman has come into the side. He middles that back to the bowler, and there is no run. He's come in as a very exciting opening batsman, and after they lost Shahjeel Khan, who was one of the most exciting opening batsmen in world cricket, and unfortunately is currently fighting corruption charges, match-fixing charges. Just seeing a replay of this catch. He dropped that 4 times.
Yeah.
And then he did the panic thing that you can't help but do, but you know it's going to look bad on the camera when it's on the ground, but you're still clutching for the ball. You have to get there. But it doesn't matter because you've dropped the catch. Lakmal comes in. And this hits the bat. Could have been a point. Instead, we've had Azhar Ali. You can hear the noise there on the mic. I'm not sure, 100% sure. That was Gunathalaka, who was trying to make up for the drop catch. He's ended up hitting Azhar Ali. They've gone through for the single. I don't think. Did he even pick up the ball?
No.
Missed the ball. So he charged in, missed the ball, and then almost headbutted Azhar Ali. I'm going to say thigh.
Can I say it again? Hello, cricket. Oh, brilliant. Just wonderful, wonderful comedy cricket. Yeah. dives in to pick up an underarm at the stump. Sort of that Jonty Rhodes way where you pick the ball up in the dive, and your arm then gets left behind, and therefore you've got the sweep so you can throw the ball at the stumps. Didn't even pick it up, and then did take the batsman down. Good tackle.
PAK is off the mark now with a single. And Surinder Lakmal is outside off stump. And Azhar Ali tries to drive this through the gap to the covers, but hits straight to cover. I watched Azhar Ali bats a lot in test matches. I'm not sure I've ever seen a batsman who picks out cover, mid-off and mid-on more than Azhar Ali. Because he was a tail ender originally. And, there's that little skill that you learn when you're a good batsman of just being able to open the face or close the face a little bit. And Azhar Ali plays these perfect cover drives and off drives, but for hours on end to the fielders. Which is probably why he has so many dot balls in one-day cricket as well. But he's facing up again with two slips behind him. And this one's angled in at him. He turns out to short mid-wicket, but straight to the fielder, so there is no run. Decent timing.
There's that. Okay, if you're going to pick on him for hitting fielders, then you must also praise him for his technique.
Oh no, his technique's incredible.
Because that is the dichotomy of that issue, is that his technique is so correct, it's going to exactly where it's supposed to go.
Is he not the #1 Test run scorer in the last 2 or 3 years? I think he scored more runs than anyone else in Test cricket. Maybe it's the highest average. It's something like that. So he's been doing great. This ball's in at his pads, and he's found short mid wicket again, and there is no run. Yeah, technically,
he does just lack that flourish. And say the last two deliveries, that one's slightly fuller, so he had a bit more of a license in and around the stumps, but the previous one just leant on it out to mid-wicket. That was okay. That last one, again, I say slightly fuller, probably could have just flourished on it a touch. I'm not saying whip it. I'm not saying get the wrists out early, but there could have just been a little bit more intent on it to work it squarer of that mid-wicket man.
Lakmal in again, this is outside off stump. He tries to drive this on the up, and you'll be shocked to know, everyone, he's found another fielder. This time it's mid-off. There's no run. He's now 10 balls without scoring. That's the end of the second over. Pakistan are 2 runs with for no wickets. Faka will be facing in the next over, and he'll be facing Malinga.
It is a good technique, but he does have to find a way to manipulate and rotate. Oh, gone. He does have to find a way to manipulate and rotate the strike. He does have to find a way to get the other batsman on strike.
And Malinga's going to continue. So he's got 2 slips also for Faka. There is a third man, a fine leg. Everyone else is pretty much in the ring in standard positions. We haven't really seen any sideways movement from Malinga so far.
And this puts pressure on the new guy, on Faka, who's not played a lot of international cricket.
And he is facing up to Malinga here. It's full and too full. It was a full toss. And probably should have just punched this down the ground for a couple, but instead he just got off the toe of the bat by the look of it. Went down to mid-off, and there's no run.
84 mile an hour, sort of low, full toss Yorker, toe of the bat. That vibrates all the way up the handle, and your fingers tingle, and it's horrible.
I was going to tell you my Lasik Malinga story. So I'm pretty sure it was Aaron Finch batting with Virendra Sehwag in the IPL one time.
I was going to say, how did that happen? But okay, yeah.
And Aaron Finch was...
that'll be Kings 11, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it not Delhi? I don't
Delhi.
know.
Did Finch play Delhi? All right, go.
Malinga comes in, another full toss. This time it is batted away, much better. Opens the face, and it goes out to point for 4. It wasn't a brilliant shot. He just allowed the pace of the ball to come on. It didn't bounce. It's 115 kilometres an hour.
Just that slow ball,
yeah. And it's just got away from Malinga, and he's just steered that out to point, and there is a bit of a gap there.
That's the freaky thing with Malinga. So he's actually, I quite like that setup. He just hasn't quite got that ball right length. He's gone fast Yorker, and then he's gone the slower ball Yorker, which sort of floats and then dips because he gets a lot of overspin, a lot of topspin on the slower ball. He's just not quite got the line right. Had that been straight, I reckon, because you go looking for it when there's width, you can find it. When it's straight, you kind of lose it for some reason as a batsman.
Malinga up and as a batsman again. This is a half volley, and he's sliced across it a little bit for Carr, but he's got it to deep backward point, and it might go again, and it is going to go.